So continuing to the intellectual capital, after understanding the basic concept of intellectual capital and how to identify it and how to further preserve it, we now come to the role of human capital, including the founder expertise and skills in this domain. So, what is the role of human capital, including the founder expertise and the skills? It is very important because it is always contributing largely to the development and the existence of any business, and also the successful, sustainable running of any business. It refers actually what human capital is. Human capital is the collaborative knowledge. It is the collaborative knowledge of the total group that is working, the human beings working together in the organization. It is their skills, their experiences and their capabilities of individuals put together within an organization. And in the context of a startup, the role of founders become very important, or maybe we can say very significant in identifying and knowing this, that what our human capital, what the human capital that is working with us, what do we need in them. That is important, because founder expertise, it is first we start with the founders expertise. That is the person who is founding, who is the owner of the business. So first he is also one of the rich resource for human capital. So here the founder expertise, it includes a unique knowledge and insights that entrepreneurs they bring into the business along with them, which is because of their understanding of the industry, their technical skill and their expertise, or maybe experience of that industry. And also their understanding of the market dynamics, the political environment in which the business is existing, their own knowledge about the production technique, the service that if they are going to produce, the raw materials, the markets from where they have to pick up the suppliers. All these skills and all this these expertise are included in the founders expertise. So the expertise of founders, often they become a driving force behind the startup's ability to innovate, because the owner or the boss, he has to be first, he has to be visionary, he has to be intelligent, he has to have lots of experiences, he has to have an innovative vision. Only then, he can form an organization and bring people together with him in the same direction. So here the expertise of founder, it becomes a driving force behind the startup's ability to innovate, make informed decision, and also meet the challenges or navigate the challenges inherent in this entrepreneurial journey. For example, any founder, suppose he has a very deep industry knowledge, and he also possesses a nuanced understanding of the market trends. He knows his customers very well. He understands their taste, preference, and likes and dislikes, and their paying capacity also. And he also understands the potential gap that is existing in that market. And he should be knowing that how his startup or how his business can address to those gaps or fill those gaps with its product or services. So first, the founder should have a detailed knowledge, a deep insight into all these things about not only, he shouldn't be only having the vision, but he should be understanding the market environment, including the macro and the micro environment, the internal and the external environment, the consumers, the suppliers, the providers, consumers' details about their taste, preference, etc. And then he should be able to identify the gap which he is going to fill in with his expertise by producing his goods and services. So the skills of the founder, it plays a very important role in shaping the startup's capabilities and competitiveness. Therefore, technical skills, leadership abilities, strategic thinking, and effective communication. Why do we need effective? Why does he need effective communication? Maybe for the purpose of negotiating, maybe for the purpose of convincing the people, and convincing the consumers through maybe his marketing skills, or so many things. So we need an effective communication skills also. So they are among the key skills that founder must possess in order to establish and then further grow his business. Here, in addition to this, the technical proficiency is also very relevant. Technical proficiency is more important if the business is technology driven, where the founder's expertise will be like in areas like software development or engineering or scientific research, or anything. I think wherever the technology is required, his proficiency in this area is going to directly influence the development of the innovative product. So here, they need diverse skills. Not only the deep understanding, but also technically he should be sound. So his journey often demands, the entrepreneurial journey. It often demands a diverse skill set from the founders, ranging from and it also, not only these two what we've discussed, we also maybe expect him to be financially have good knowledge in financial management also. That is maybe his financial acumen and marketing prowess, to adaptability and maybe resilience. That means he has to, maybe I should say, he is expected to have the ability to wear multiple hats and tackle various aspects of business operations in a hallmark of successful entrepreneurs. So founders with a well-rounded skill sets are better equipped to address the multifaceted challenges to build and grow any startup. Maybe here we can bring in the discussion of different forms of business structures or organizations, where we can say that maybe if one person, he has a vision and he has deep knowledge or deep insight about the market, about how to do the business, he has innovative ideas also. Maybe if he is not sound on other aspect, for example technology or something, so maybe he can think of, instead of being a sole proprietorship, let me go for a partnership and bring in another partner who is technologically sound. Or maybe we can bring in a third partner who is more strong or talented in the domain which the person, means the owner himself, is not. So we can think of, take into consideration, but the owners who are going to run the business, who are going to enter into the market, they have to have these multiple qualities to establish themselves firmly in the market and grow and run the business. So they can go for more options, taking into consideration the different forms of business also. So here now this was about the human capital, first including the founder. But I think it is beyond the founders. We also include, the role of human capital extend beyond the founders to include the skills and contribution of the entire team. And this team has to be very cohesive and skilled, because cohesive and skilled, and they must be able to complement each other. As I said, that maybe if he's a sole proprietor, then either he can go for partnership with different talents or different qualities, or maybe he can also hire people or build up his own team with expertise in different domain, and whatever, they complement each other, because everything cannot be in one person, so they can complement each other. So therefore, we have to, an entrepreneur, what he can do is he can bring people together and he can generate a very collaborative environment, where collective knowledge and creativity, it exists and it thrives there. So he must be knowing, not only bringing them together, in addition to this, he must be knowing the effective utilization of these human capital or of his team, because and it will involve not only recruiting and retaining the talented individuals, but also creating a culture that encourages continuous learning, innovations and collaborations. This, I think, we can do by introducing more programs, sending our workers for some maybe orientation programs, maybe for some refresher courses, so that they develop themselves. They can be maybe sent to participate in some competitions, maybe they are sent to participate in some development programs. So this way you keep it continuous, so that the team, they are developing themselves and they're making their exteriors more polished and more, they sharpen themselves better for better performance in future. So recognizing and leveraging the team and the people working strategically, it can lead to very long-term competitive advantage. And therefore, when you do this, investors always, when you do this, you are fostering a rich environment, and investors, they assess the quality of the founding team when they are evaluating, the potential success of the startups. Because once you are laying down the foundation, and when you disclose before the stakeholders, you tell them that you are hiring these people and you have this is your workforce, this helps you to convince the investors, or maybe you attract them in a better way, because they assess the quality of that founding team, and on the basis of this they evaluate them, and they help in attracting the funds. They help in convincing the investors to show their willingness to invest their money or contribute their money for the organization, or funding support to the business. So as the business evolves, as it evolves and grows, the founder's ability to nurture and develop the skills of the team, they delegate responsibilities, they try to generate a positive work culture. It becomes very environmental, in sustaining a long-term success for any organization. So bringing them together is not sufficient. You have to cultivate an environment which has to be proactive, which has to be, pro-growing also. So we can say that it is, the intangible asset, which is intellectual capital here, which derives innovation, differentiation and value creation. With very unique and different intellectual assets, startups, it can leverage human capital, especially the expertise and skills of the founder, to navigate the uncertainties, create a competitive edge and build a foundation for sustainable growth. So recognizing and effectively managing the intellectual capital is, I think, very significant for any startups which looks forward to grow and develop and thrive in the entrepreneurial market. So role of human capital is extremely, extremely important. The next we come to knowledge creation. Knowledge creation. It is a very dynamic process that fuels the innovation. By fueling the innovation, it pushes the growth, and it also makes an entrepreneur or a business more strong competitively in the market, in the business. So, what are the steps, or what are the things that are involved in knowledge creation? It is the it involves the generation, acquisition, integration, and utilization of new knowledge into the business. So I again emphasize on the terms, that is generation, not only generation, but acquisition, integration, and utilization of new knowledge and insights in order to develop a new product or service or a business model or any process that should differentiate you and make you more competitive in the market. So how do we do it? Actually, at the heart of knowledge creation in a startup lies the spirit of entrepreneurship. Here, how do we generate or acquire or integrate and utilize? This is again the whole process. That is, first we maybe recruiting the people accordingly, whatever it is the need, or maybe whoever are existing, we have to develop them by providing them the training and development, maybe programs, through development programs. So here it is, if you want to grow, you have to go for, or you have to focus on knowledge creation. Otherwise, we cannot develop, we cannot stand in the market. Every day, see, market is changing. Almost every day things are changing, and we have to switch over in order to catch up to the changing demands, changing fashion, changing trends. So this knowledge creation is, you have to keep yourself updated in the market, what is going on. You have to keep updated of the trends that are going on, and how technology is taking place in place of the older ones. So this way we find that it is the focal point where an entrepreneurship can exist and sustain. So how can we do this? This can be maybe through there are some very important features that are required. One of them is curiosity, that is a craving for learning. You see others doing it, you read out the market trends, you read out what is happening throughout the world on global trends, what are the global trends. Taking into consideration, you should be curious. And so one of the factors is that curiosity is important, and then your craving to learn more, it should be experimentation. If you're seeing things changing, then how to come out of this situation, or how to switch off, or how to update ourselves, we have to experiment. So experimentation, and also and experimentation will always involve risk taking. So we have to take into consideration three parts that is very much necessary for an entrepreneur to have. That is the curiosity, experimentation, and risk-taking capacity. Not only capacity, but he should be ready and willingness to go for experimentation and the risk-taking. Because, startups are often based on, or any business is often based on new ideas, or the opportunities that are available. Because one can look into the problems that are existing, and therefore one have to have a problem solving approach. because starting a business that is producing some goods or services should be decided on the basis of the need of the consumers, and the need arises out of the so there has to be a problem solving approach which catalyzes the knowledge creation. If you have curiosity, if you have, you want to bring something new into the market, and for new you have to just check out what are the problems existing, and if you come out with a different solution in a unique way, then you are catalyzing, or you are enhancing or encouraging the knowledge creation. So this initial spark of creativity, it drives the founders and team members to explore the territories which have not been gone by anybody else, or maybe we can say uncharted territories, and challenges existing assumptions, and they seek innovative solution to these existing or emerging challenges. They take risk. They enter those territories where nobody else is courageous enough to step into, and then they take up these challenges and try to meet these challenges with innovations and creativity, which helps them to come out with maybe novel ideas, services, products, whatever it is. So this process of how does this start? So the process, knowledge creation, it begins with the identification and articulation of key insights. Often we derive from the market research. This is a must for any entrepreneur or businessman. You have to keep in touch with the market. So it is the from market research, customers' feedback. You go and contact them, you talk to them, you take their feedbacks, you ask their problems, what do they want, etc. You have to understand and learn the technology trend that is going in the market, the technological trends that are there, and also you must have the expertise in that domain. So, the startups, they leverage various sources of knowledge, including the internal expertise, and also they make use of external networks. Networks, because there are people who are expert in different domain outside the business also, so we can make use of their knowledge and their expertise. For example, we have the chartered accountants, we have the lawyers, we have maybe the researchers, we have the people who are already into the market, the retailers, the wholesalers who are directly in contact with the consumers. So we have to use those networks in order to keep ourselves updated. We can go through the academic researchers also, and academic researchers, because in academics there are researchers on basing on the secondary and primary data. It keeps on going and getting published, so you can go through those researches, publications. Then also industry collaborations in order to inform their decision making and problem solving efforts. So when you keep in touch with, you keep in touch with your, this is complete a process of knowledge creation. That is via internal expertise, external networks, academic researches, and maybe you collaborate with other industries, that how they are working, they will be, sharing and complementing the needs of each other. And so this keeps you, in making proper decisions, and also your efforts in a proper way in order to solve the problem. So we see that as the startups, they iterate and refine their ideas, knowledge creation unfolds through it unfolds through different cycles of experimentations. Not only experimentation, but learning and adaptation also. That is how we have to adapt to the changing things, but we have to prepare ourselves, and preparing needs the knowledge. So the agile nature of startups or any business enables them to embrace the failures as a learning opportunity, uh, and pivot in response to changing the market conditions or the consumer or customer's needs. So, through rapid prototyping, I would say, not only prototyping but testing and validation, businesses can accumulate the valuable insights and refine their understanding of customer preferences. uh, they can develop the understanding of market dynamics and know what is going on around there in the competitive, among the competitors. So they have to, rapidly they have to validate and they have to prototype, etc., in order to keep themselves updated with the changing world. In addition to experiential learning, knowledge creation in a startup is facilitated by the cultivation of supportive organizational culture that values the curiosity. As we already said, that curiosity is the basic essence from where knowledge creation evolves. So it is, supportive organization culture is should value the curiosity, collaboration, and knowledge sharing also. So they what encourage, the businesses must encourage open communication channels, cross-functional collaborations, and flat hierarchies, creating an environment where ideas can flourish and diverse perspective can be covered. Uh, the diversity, the differences in ideas must be adopted and must be encouraged in order to learn further and grow further. Uh, Sometimes, or most of the time, we find that technology plays a very important role in enabling knowledge creation in businesses. There are digital tools, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Machine learning algorithms empowers startups to analyze vast amount of information, uncover the hidden patterns, which it's very difficult if we do it physically. It's quite, complicated also, and drive, actionable insights from the complex database. Actually, uh, there are certain processes which are very time consuming. They are also cumbersome, and if you are not sharp enough to visualize those things, then all the efforts go waste. So sometimes technology come to our help in a way that if we use these digital tools or maybe data analytics, whatever is required by your business, then maybe we go for uh, a more specific decision making, or maybe to the best practices that should be, or the best decision that has to be taken, that has to be, so that we can optimize our resources in the best way. So and what happens that when your business matures, as we see that as your business start maturing, that is growing and scaling also, that means expanding, effective knowledge management also again becomes more important, because now you are in the growing stage and you've already established your base strongly. So here it becomes, increasingly important, because now you need to preserve the institutional memory, or capture the best practices, because whatever has been already done and established, the base has to be preserved and protected, and it has to be made or developed in such a way so that the organization should be ever growing. So the organization have to capture the best practices and facilitate organizational learning, so that these businesses, they uh, your business catches two different scales and different levels in a very, very positive way. So here, startups may invest in knowledge management system, mentorship programs, and also trainings to initiate, to take the, initiate, train the human capital in order to institutionalize the knowledge and ensure its continuity across the diverse teams and organizational transitions. So that means here you will have to invest more on your human capital. So finally, we can say that knowledge creation in a startup is a dynamic process because it does not stops only at the creation or establishment stage. It goes on and on as you grow on and on, as you scale up. Because it involves generating innovative ideas and cultivate the knowledge within the business in order to, make your business a unique identity in order to flourish into the market. So as you're expanding, you have to bring in more knowledge, you have to bring in more innovation, you have to bring in new things, maybe production method, maybe, distribution, sales, whatever, wherever you need to refresh yourself, it will be, and it can be done only and only through knowledge creation. So knowledge creation for any new business to start up or scale up or maybe expand further, it is the basic thing that we need. So, that is all for this session. We do this much today, and now we will follow on to further, more in-depth discussion about the same content in the next session. Thank you.